Hey everybody, it's your boy, Brian Von VA. Got a question for you. What are your coolest character concepts? Leave yours down in the comments below. Come on, you know you want to do it. One of my old characters used a 3.5 class called Healer. All they got were healing spells, and they were boosted by her charisma too. Literally, her level 0 healing spell healed 6 HP. So she was the kind of pacifist do. Anyway, she was an ASMR from a farming family who was always tending to injured people and animals. Her village raised money to send her to med school. On her way back home after getting her fantasy MD, she was captured by fire giants. One day, the Jarl's son came back severely injured. After a brief parley, she was set free to heal him and did so in a matter of a few minutes. She was made an honorary muse spell and was allowed to go free. She never ended a day without spell slots left. Everyone must get healed! You can't screw with the white mage! But first, we're going to be talking about the sponsor for this video, the Wandering Tavern. Are you looking for something new and exciting to add to your D&D games? Maybe you'd like to try a unique setting for a new campaign. Well, look to the skies, friends, and behold, the Wandering Tavern. A new Studio Ghibli-inspired grungy campaign setting from our friends at Homie and the Dude. Inside this 150-page campaign setting book, you'll find 23 unique locations within the Wandering Tavern, ranging from exotic restaurants, gambling houses, workshops, as well as new magic items, 6 different airships, and a host of interesting NPCs. The Wandering Tavern holds many secrets in its 15 layers, not the least of which are the lingering spirits who come out to play after the sun sets. All told, there are 11 diverse factions within the tavern, each of which has its own motivations and goals. With 30 different plot hooks with which to draw in your players, you'll be easily able to find a start to a new campaign, or hook the Wandering Tavern into your existing campaigns. So come along for the ride and fly over to their Kickstarter at the link in the description below to join us at the Wandering Tavern. Sir Barnacles, middle-aged halfling gentleman, oh, and warlock for hire, of course. Born and raised in an idyllic seaside town, Sir Barnacles, at the tender age of 20, was lured into the sea by a beautiful mermaid, and promptly possessed by the potent creature. However, Sir Barnacles made the mermaid fall in love with him, so now he has returned to land with the mermaid as his patron. Sir Barnacles is a dapper fellow with a maroon tux and impeccably gelled hair. Should anyone require a smartly dressed, sweet-talking, explosively magical halfling, they have their man. Rates start at 2 seashells an hour. I have a character I really want to play at some point, and I'm quite proud of the concept. Valiant of the Viridian, later known as Veil for Viridian, a lizardfolk cleric druid who was banished from his tribe due to his different worldview. The Viridian tribe of lizardfolk were proud servants of the black dragon Claradel, and served her faithfully for many generations, with the tribe leader acting as her general, so to speak, with the lizardfolk being named for their actions and traits shown under her service. Valiant was so named for his bravery in fighting warriors presumed beyond even his father's, the tribe's leader's, ability. He was praised for his magical power as his tribe valued strength beyond all else. One's ability to fight was all that mattered in the Viridian tribe. However, Valiant actually held a different perspective, for as a hatchling he discovered a hidden grove that held clerical teachings of a deity known as the Spark, a fey deity of emotions, something foreign to the reptilian species. And so he studied under the guise of training his innate druidic magic. Slowly, his studies brought him under the Spark's influence and granted him the ability to feel emotions as others do. He became disillusioned with his people's survival of the fittest mentality, as well as their service to Claradel, and took to interfering in their planned raids. It reached a head when the tribe attacked a caravan of travelers and brought them before Claradel as a sacrifice while Valiant was occupied with another task. Valiant pleaded for mercy on their behalf, and the distraction allowed the hostages to escape. Though Valiant was stripped of his name and declared weak, he was exiled from the tribe to live in shame, though not before Cladriel dissolved his arm with her acid. As thanks, the travelers took him in, and their own druid helped the lizard folk adapt to the rest of the world, and together the pair fashioned a prosthetic arm of magical wood and bone, as well as granted Valiant a new name, Valefor, his new friend's last name. Eventually, Val took to traveling on his own as a traveling healer and cleric of the Spark, who spreads his own view on strength. That strength comes in many forms, not just combat. One strength could be in the painting, or whatever else. To Val, true strength came in being true to yourself and embracing who you are, regardless of anyone who says otherwise. Through Val himself, though Val himself has a little trouble actually understanding most customs outside his forest. TLDR, Himbo Lizard Druid Cleric who thinks just being yourself is the epitome of strength. Currently, I have a small list of concepts, but one, if I ever get to play a new character, might use. Spoons, the Minotaur Barbarian. For some reason, she has an obsessive rage about spoons and wields 2 spoons in each hand. The only thing she says, by the way, is spoons! In a rage. If she ever gets in combat, you'll be sure she rips and tears through you with her spoons as she screams in rage, "Ah, spoons!" Haven't made the character sheet yet, let alone played as this character. He doesn't even have a name yet, to be honest, but a coworker and I talk D&D endlessly while on shift together, and during one such conversation, I had the idea for a centaur character. A celestial sorcerer centaur. Unicorn centaur. I have an idea for an all-homebrew awakened monkey pirate puppeteer, runekeeper, encoder, sorcerer, artificer, druid. Loosely based off of one piece named Charleston Leopold Digsby Hankerbottom Jr., Charlie D. Monkey, named after the drunken bardic pirate Charleston Leopold Digsby Hankerbottom Sr., Charlie Boy, who, whilst at the victory party with some dwarves and his crew, was dared to awaken a monkey! Not being a coward and never one to back down from a dare, Charlie Boy awakened the monkey, named it after him, and then gave it a beer. So Charlie D. Monkey would spend the next 2 weeks partying with his father and learning the ways of the pirates, before being sent on his merry way with a bunch of random crap that Charlie Sr. had recently gained, with his famous 5-finger discount technique, of course, and didn't want random garbage, food to last him a while, and a couple pieces of gold. Spanner, the battlesmith artificer goblin. Spanner was the assistant of the Board, a famous detective known for wrapping up cases quicker than anyone else. She was always making gadgets to help with his investigations. They had been doing investigations for about, 3 years, taking out everything from low-level gangs to major creature fight clubs. However, Veyboard had a personal investigation he conducted in his spare time. He kept Spanner out of it, saying it was too personal. Then one night, Veyboard went missing. The guards concluded that Veyboard had just left in the night, as there were no signs of a break-in or magical activities. But Spanner thought differently, so she took Veyboard's trusty revolver and left to find him. This one can't go wrong. A fiendlock who drew the deck of many card that flipped his alignment in his backstory. He used to be basically that guy. Needlessly edgy, cruel, murder hobo type of guy, to the point he is almost always in disguise now as he works to undo his patron's plans using loopholes in the contract. Deck of Many is a gold mine of backstory cards that needs more attention. I just love Circles of Spores druids as a concept, but instead of a druid, do it as a ranger. Oh my god, I love you. Now as a ranger, take either the Beastmaster or the Swarmkeeper subclass. Your beast is now some sort of living mushroom, or your swarm is a mist of spores that follows you wherever. My other concept is an Oath of Vengeance paladin with reflavored shadow magic. Meet Karga Stronggale, an old dwarven adventurer. Kargus was an adventurer in his prime until he was betrayed by his old partner and dragged into the Shadowfell. His time there dampened his capability for positive emotion, leaving him to wallow in sadness and rage. The time in the Shadowfell also gave him a dark magic within him. He has recently made his way back up to the material plane and plans on finding his old partner and torturing him with his newfound powers. My favorite concept that I will probably never play is a bard who is not a bard. Person who dreams of being famous as a musician but has no talent whatsoever. Years of training and trying gives them almost none of the effects, but they don't give up. And that makes lesser gods of music like Millily curious. So our hero travels from town to town playing bad songs on their harp. That happens to be Millily's holy symbol. Oh, that's right, they are a cleric! By the way, Millily is apparently a light domain god, so my little guy would be able to throw fireballs, and that makes me happy for him. I've got one that I'm hoping to play soon. A cleric who can be summed up by the sentence, "Lord, give me strength to resist these temptations." Tomorrow. When this priest was supposed to be ordained, he was almost late to his own ceremony due to him looking all over town to find someone to discreetly treat his venereal disease. This cleric drinks like a sailor, gambles like a degenerate, and flirts with any mildly attractive NPC. Race or gender, oh, it don't matter. And he's going to abuse his station as a priest to make some money to fuel all those habits. I think somewhere deep down he still means well, but he's too busy looking for the next hit to really care. TLDR. What if the horny bard went to seminary instead of bard school? Her name is Ofilia, a water genasi. What makes her different from my other characters is that there exists multiple versions of Ofilia. Not reworked versions or more fleshed out versions, but multiples of her, each separate from one another. So one Ofilia could run into an Ofilia from a different world. In one world, she's a lunar magic sorcerer. In another, she's an undead warlock whose patron is just a lich version of herself, trying to continue the cycle. Now, each Ofilia has their own memories and experience, with at a few constants. I always try to make sure they live a good life, because there's no reason that they don't deserve to. Dr. Archibald Crane, Night Terror, Soul Knife Rogue, College of Whispers Bard. Dr. Crane is a psychologist who is somehow never lacking in patience. Shortly after arriving in a new area, nightmarish dreams and visions begin plaguing citizens. Soon afterward, these dreams and visions manifest into thoughts of murder or self-harm. So the citizens seek help, and there just so happens to be a doctor who can help them. The helpful doctor counsels everyone and finds a pattern linking multiple patients together. This link is a figure dubbed Night Terror, who is seen occasionally stalking and killing people. Night Terror knows who he is, but Crane never realizes he is the man behind the mask. Dr. Crane suffers from DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder. Not really cool like most people would think, but it has to go a character I made earlier named Tasar. He is a black dragonborn going to be flavored as a rare half-dragon that has a breath weapon, rogue sorcerer. He would secretly be the big bad evil guy of the campaign. He's like a white supremacist, but for draconic people. That's really not starting this one off strong, are you? He looks on every race that doesn't have draconic blood running through their veins. I did rogue sorcerer so that I would have access to disguise self and sneak attack. I also made a homebrew rare magic item called the Gem of Neutral Good. It's kinda broken and unbalanced, but I like it. It basically allows the user's alignment to read neutral good. Tasnar's actual alignment is chaotic evil. Chad, John, and Mitch. I don't know why that made me die. A changeling born with 3 souls in one body. Every day, the soul in charge changes. In an effort to fix themselves, the triplets became clerics, since gods and souls tend to go together. When they realized each had pledged themselves to different gods, they started keeping a journal for the others to keep track of what their body has been doing. Daldrus Molten Brow, a Minotaur Forge cleric of Moradin. He was raised by dwarven mercenaries who taught him his faith. Now, having grown up, Daldrus has left home to seek out holy artifacts and learn more of his bloodkin. Corver Great Dance, a goblin creation bard raised by a halfling circus. He seeks to travel the world, learning new music and spreading joy to all he meets. Also, instead of using magic to cast, he fire dances. Oh, that is actually really cool. I like that. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know. What's the coolest character concept you've got? Doesn't matter if you've played them or not, we want to know. Love you all, see you next time, bye for now.